Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our latest interview. This time with Team Secret's head coach, Titan. Titan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you, Milos.
Well, I'm very happy to hear that. I hope you had a nice, nutritious breakfast to get yourselves ready for your matchup today. But before we dig into more on that topic, let's have a chat about your history with the team, because you've come in, you're now head coach, you've been around for a while with the squad, and there's been some changes since we've spoken earlier in the year. How did you have to coach new players, new changes in the rosters, and help the players adapt into them as the year progressed, from your POV as a coach?
Well, it's been different every stage pretty much because of the fact that we have made so many changes. I think the nice thing is the fact that this last stage, between stage 2 and 3, we only had to make one change with Kendry coming into the team, and that's the fewest number of changes a Team Secret roster has made since making EUL in our, the second form with the German lineup. But in general, a lot of it has come down to players that are already on the team being very supportive, being very helpful, hard workers, and I'm going to shout out Gomfi here for this one a lot, and his influence in the team and his ability to really sort of have his head screwed on and lead us in a proper direction when it comes to what we want to do in terms of picking up players, how we want to approach things as a team, and then also integrating other members into the team and making them feel welcome. He's been an absolute standout, stellar person for that.
Not surprising at all. He is a very accommodating person from my own experience in playing NA ranked with him in the middle of the night. So even that is very accommodating. But how is it bringing on Kendra? You talk about Gomfi and helping you behind the reasoning of picking up one player or the other and how to integrate them best. Why was Kendra picked up, and what is he bringing to the team that you need now?
Well, Kendrew's signing wasn't actually really necessarily expected at the start of stage 2 or even, really throughout it. There were issues with Hive. He's a great player as Hive, and it's small things to do with consistency and areas like that we realistically sort of had to, judge and evaluate at the end of the day when it came down to how we wanted to perform in stage 3. And I don't think there was any real bad blood in the end when he sort of left the team, and he understood the reasons for it. And, my respect goes out to him, and I still think he's a very talented player. So do the rest of the boys. But Kenny came in with the key objective of bringing new ideas, fresh sort of style of play to the team. We felt that at times in stage 2, we'd hit a brick wall and we couldn't get through it. And we didn't have sort of the creative thinking on sort of in the server at times to be able to figure out or problem solve, as you might put. So Kendra came in. He's got a sort of wealth of experience with him, Pro League champion, years at Tier 1 level, and in general, I think a lot of people probably realise between stage 2 and 3, yes, the results weren't there, but our play style was considerably different to what it was. We obviously had some okay results, beating teams like G2, for example, in stage 3. We managed to scrape an overtime win against Heroic, playing Coastline, a map that traditionally we don't play as a team. So we adopted a new map pool as well with Kendry coming in. And then we had other tight results, things like, for example, the Vitality at the end of the season, which we ended up losing, sadly, and also like Empire as well, game day 2 of stage 3. There were a lot of small moments which probably, had they gone differently, I think just the overall confidence we could have gone into the stage, or the rest of the stage with, would have been definitely probably shown how talented we were as a team. But, when you lose a couple of games, especially by tight margins, it's hard to bounce back, which realistically probably was like a damning effect on us and why we struggled so much throughout stage 3.
Fair enough.
And same for the rest of the year as well.
It definitely must hit the
hard to come back from certain results.
It's a lot of work for you as a coach to kind of rein in the players after those days. So I very much appreciate the amount of effort that you're able to put in there. It is a lot of work when you're, as Shas like to put it, coach is more of a babysitter as well in a lot of ways, and it's kind of the joke that gets thrown around in the scene. But you understand it when you're really in these really more underrated leadership positions, if you ask me. But you say you've had these, for viewers at least, surprise victories or surprise scores against some really tough teams in the EUL. Why was that the case, and why do you think that did not translate into your regular matches, more consistency in the results?
It's hard to say. As I said, I think a lot of it is about us being able to bounce back from positions of losing games or having advantage and being able to keep the right mindset in terms of being positive, being strong, being resilient. In stage one, I think we had many fundamental issues. We obviously had some good results. So, for example, game day one, where we beat G2 7-5. I don't think anybody expected that, to be honest. Internally, we always have a little bit of confidence and a little bit of buoyancy in terms of the fact that we know that we're good enough. We've got the players to be able to win these games, but the reality comes down to the fact that when you see what we had on paper in stage one, it was difficult. We didn't necessarily have the right balance of team. So when we did get a couple of wins, it was a nice sort of lift, but you could see the fundamental core problems. For example, lack of a proper IGL, lack of proper support players, and that therefore sort of spiraled into difficult overall stage for us. Come stage two, we had a much better stage. We picked up Packball, we picked up Keenan, two really great guys, and talented players in the server as well. And they're doing their jobs now as well with the team, and it's why they're still here. They're brilliant. And I think it showed in the fact that games day 1 and 2, we managed to beat Na'Vi 7-3, team that came top of stage 1, and we then managed to pull off a decent little comeback, I think everybody would say, against Rogue on Consulate to win 7-5. However, then when it came to the rest of the stage and that middle ground, it was hard. It's hard to put sort of your finger on it in a sense, but it felt like a little bit like mindset almost was going out the window and the pressure was getting to us. We'd never really gone into games as favourites necessarily, or as games that people would say, "Oh yeah, you know what? Secret should win this. We should respect them. We should fear them a little bit." But I think after these first couple of games, people probably took a little bit of a cautious approach to us, and we got punished by that slightly against VP. I think Pasha had his best game of the entire stage. I think he had like 3 kills or something like that up to that point. Obviously, VP were also playing at the time with Andreezy, and then for that game, WTG comes back in, and I mean, they just looked like a completely new team, and they were revolutionized again. And we really got punished out. I think in the end, that day he had like 5-1 or 6-1 on entries. I mean, when you've got like +4, +5 on one side, you're always going to be playing catch up, especially for a map like Consular as it was at the time.
Was this the same
in that game
in scrims also, or was it just in official games?
It was just in official games, which was the real pain, realistically, because it was almost to a point where you could argue that we were a scrim team in stage 2. I mean, it was the most successful period of scrims that I'd ever been a part of with any team from tier 3 to tier 1, and even back before I was coach of this team. And it was like, wow, this is it's incredible. Maybe this is a super team that I've built here all of a sudden with Packball, the team, Keenan, and everything is going to plan out perfectly. But obviously, scrims only mean so much in terms of what you can actually practice and the consistency of it.
Well, you talked about VP, so that's one Russian team, but you get to play against Hellraisers, of course, the number 3 rated, for some people even that I've been hearing, maybe even the potentially future number 1 team in Russia, the emerging talent from the CIS region. You play against them to defend your spot in the EU League for 2022 on Saturday, which is tomorrow, or technically today when this is all airing. So what are your thoughts on this? How's the preparation? And what are you putting together to try to take Hellraisers down?
Well, funnily enough, it was basically the day or two after we obviously got confirmed that we were in relegations. We were looking at the CL teams that were going to be there. You had the obvious candidates, the Makers, you got the M&Ms, you got the Death Rows of the 2 World, and then we saw Hellraisers, and we were like, realistically, we expected it to be Makers versus Hellraisers in the final, and then Hellraisers to lose it. So for the last couple of months, it's always been in our minds of, this day would come and we'd play Hellraisers. So we've been preparing pretty well just to play them because, we knew already who we were going to face as of 2 months ago. So, could say we're more than well prepared for this game.
What do you want to say to Hellraisers then to wrap things up?
Well, may the best team win, obviously. I think that's going to be the first and foremost important thing. And hopefully on the day that everybody's able to show their best form, and that the true team with the real strengths in terms of teamwork and skill and discipline is the one that shows out more so than maybe a team that gets a little bit lucky on the day.
Yep. Maybe it is the best team on the day. Who knows? But this is the day that matters. Thank you so much, Titan, for being with us. And good luck on your matchup against Hellraisers. It's Secret versus Hellraisers. Winner makes it to EUL. Same and similar. It's just exactly what we had last week. This simple. EUL 22 is on the line. Thank you again, Titan. And we'll see you all in game.
Thank you.